Do you suck at Hive Bedwars? Do you find yourself struggling to win a single game? Well, if so, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 simple tips that will help you improve your Hive Bedwars performance. These range from PvP tips, bed defense tips, and tips to get better items. Because whenever I play Bedwars squads, I see a lot of mistakes. The most annoying being my teammates using wool for the defense. Which brings me to our first tip. Never use wool. Okay, let me explain. Most people might use their first 5 iron in the game to get wool for a bed defense. But that's simply not what you should do. Instead, use this wool to bridge to your diamond gen and get about 2 diamonds. This is just enough for you to get deep slate for a much better bed defense. You might say, warped, why can't we just use wool? Well, the thing is, to destroy your bed, someone would need a pick, which basically makes your bed indestructible. At least early game. Also, bonus tip, before you leave your base again, cover your bed in wool. That way other teams won't know you have deep slate underneath, meaning they probably won't know they need a pickaxe. If you don't cover your bed in wool, they'll probably see the deep slate and buy a pickaxe. And then, it's game over for you. Our next tip is gonna help you get better loot than anyone else in the lobby. But if you'd made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. These videos take a long time to make and it would be very much appreciated. I've also launched 2 other channels along with my main, so if you're interested in those, consider checking them out, link in the description. I've also recently launched a Discord server, so if you want to join the community, consider joining, link in the description for that too. Anyways, let's get back into the video. If you know the other players in your lobby are way better than you, it's probably a good idea to max out your gen as soon as you can. This way you can be one of the first players to get diamond armor. You can also get a lot of helpful stuff like plenty of blocks, golden apples, bows and arrows, and maybe even more. And if you go to mid and get a lot of emeralds, you can buy plenty of loot, basically guaranteeing you win the game. The only downside to this is if your enemies do the same thing, you could still lose the game. That's why you should stick around for this next tip, which basically guarantees a free win if used right. If you have a lot of spare emeralds laying around, you might want to buy a dory or 3, because if used right, you can easily get a free kill with this. Quick bonus tip, when using a dory, make sure the person you're fighting doesn't know you have any dories, so they don't start building up or something. But hey, you won't be able to play the game very well if you have 16 wool to get around with. That's why you might want to stick around for this next tip. Most players might buy wool to bridge with, and this is fine to do early game, but when we get into mid game or late game, when we have a lot of gold lying around, you might want to buy wood instead, as it gives you way more blocks, and if you upgrade your gen, you get 1 gold and 1 iron every second, making it basically the same price. But having a bunch of blocks is not going to do you any good if you don't know where your enemy is. But hey, let's say you've almost won the game, but there's just 1 guy left. But there's one issue, you don't know where they are. That's why this next tip is to buy a compass. Before I discovered this, I would run around the map thinking I could easily find them, which sometimes I did, but it's better to just buy a compass, especially when you're at mid surrounded by emeralds. And yeah, that's 5 tips on how to win Hive Bedwars. If you enjoyed this video, there's a chance you might want to watch this next video, where I speedrun every single item in Hive Bedwars. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.